Merav and Michal Moore, twin sisters, both with PhDs, Ironman competitors, and co-founders of metabolism-tracking device maker Lumen. The handheld device delivers real-time visibility to its more than 350,000 users about individuals' response to food, sleep, stress, and exercise, empowering people to make healthier lifestyle decisions. Merav and Michal Moore are in the Changemakers spotlight. Michal and Merav Moore, co-founders of Lumen, thank you so much for joining us here. Now, Lumen is a totally new kind of product. Describe what it is and why you decided to create it.
Lumen is basically a system that combined a device that you are measuring, breathe into it, and it's measure your metabolism through the breath. And it's connect with an app that give you lifestyle recommendation based on the reading of your metabolism and guiding you toward the things that has the highest impact for your own metabolism. And by that, helping you become more metabolically flexible and helping you achieve your life goals.
And why did you decide to create it?
I have to add because...
of course you have to add.
Now, first of all, I have to say that usually when we do interviews, we like this. Sitting behind the tables, holding hands. Now, it's weird for me, this distance. Well, measuring metabolism, this is something that although Lumen innovated it because we enable it in a single breath, but metabolic measurements, this is something that already being used since the 60s. It's just being used in labs and clinics, not accessible to everyday use. And the technology is very, very robust and takes about 45 minutes. And then you need a physician, also to analyze the data. What we did, we made it accessible and we minimize all this really amazing technology so everybody can take smart decisions based on their metabolism.
So you took this pretty expensive technology, you boiled it down to a small device, it's about this big, and costs a couple $100. Mm-hmm. And then you have an app, which is a subscription fee, or an app, which is a subscription fee. So 2 revenue streams. But why did you want to make it? Where did this all come from?
Wow. You want to start? Of course. So during the last year of our PhD, we started to compete in Ironman competitions. Now, we were far away from being an elite athlete, but what we did have was a deep understanding of the human body's physiology. And from that, we understood that in order to achieve an amazing result and compete against elite athletes, we need our metabolism to be flexible, being able to shift efficiently between burning carbs and burning fat, which this is what makes an amazing athlete. But at that time, metabolic measurement wasn't something that was accessible, the same as Merav just mentioned. Merav just mentioned. And so we started to do different experiments on ourselves by using our understanding on how metabolism should behave and be affected. And gradually we become better and better, and we take some, podium. But still, the fact that we didn't have the ability to measure our metabolism, it was hard for us, both of us coming from research, so without any validation on our data and take decisions based on subjective feelings. This is something that can kill a researcher. So we decided that we're gonna take that technology from outside the lab and made it accessible. It began just, we didn't dream on building a company. We thought on creating a prototype, something that we will be able to use in order to take smarter decisions that will help us to swim faster, run faster, bike faster.
It was all about me, and me.
But once we started to do that, suddenly we understood that there is something here that is much more bigger than us. So today, it's not even today, for years, researchers understand that eventually it all comes down to metabolism. How we age, how we perform, how we live, our energy level, even menopause symptoms, it all comes down to our metabolism. So by understanding that, we decided to founded Lumen and to help everyone, not just us, to live healthier.
And when did you realize that this wasn't just about athletes? This wasn't just about making sure you're having the best athletic performance, but really could be a valuable tool for women who may not have that much information about how their bodies work?
So I think maybe we can go like 10 years ago, because at the beginning, as Michal mentioned, we built the first prototype and we wanted to make sure that it actually working. So we used to take it to dinner on Fridays with our family, and we asked, for example, our sister, can you come just sit here for a sec? And she used to breathe into the device, and then we measured every like measurement she took, and then we asked our dad, who was diabetic, and then we saw that he had like a different response. So then we understood that actually metabolism is not only for athletes, it is also something that can help people with health issues, people who want to lose weight. Later, after we founded Lumen, and today Lumen has the biggest metabolic data in the world. We have more than 75 million metabolic measurements, and we have it in the context. Before Lumen, it was less than 1 million metabolic measurements. So just to emphasize how big our data is.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what's fascinating to me is it's all started with you being athletes and doing the Ironman, and that impacted the founding of the company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious how else you being athletes and that mindset impacted the way you're running the company.
Oh, I think a lot. At that time, at least I was not aware of the impact training to an endurance competition like Ironman, which is very, very demanding, will affect who I am today and what I can provide to Lumen. Today, in retrospective, I look on it and say, wow, it actually taught me pure resilience. Being an athlete, it's, we see everybody like crossing the finish line, but there's so much beneath it. The journey starts much earlier. You have to be able to wake up every morning at 4 a.m. Even when it's tough, you have to do it.
And cold.
And cold. And I think that the fact that you are able to, I will say suffer, but it's pain. Sometimes we mix between pain and suffering. It's not the same thing. And the fact that you're able to
enjoy the pain. You learn to enjoy the pain.
Yeah, that it's part of suffering from it. And it's part of the journey. It's part of who we are, being resilient to this pain. And I think it's not only the fact that we were like solo did this endurance, but we did it together. So the fact that you are able to support each other and strengthen each other. Today I look on Lumen, and this is very similar to what I still experience. A lot of intense, a lot of difficulties that I need to overcome. But the fact I have this support system here, you see?
Sometimes our mother, yes, she's asking me, okay, Michal, when it will be finished, when you will find, you can be in a relaxed mode. And I keep saying to her, Mama, this is the journey. I mean, it's not going to change. This is what we chose. And
we enjoy it.
And we enjoy it. We really learn to enjoy it.
I want to talk more about you being twins, because it's so clear that this is not just a company, it's the family's there. Your husband is also involved as CEO. How do you think about separating your relationship as family members from your relationship as business partners?
You can separate.
Not.
It's like it's like this, but I think this is our strength. I mean, the way we grew up, our built-in support system. Our mother had like two main, principles, two mantras. One is all the time to not leave things unresolved. She used to say, never go to bed when you're angry. And it's not easy all the time. Sometimes you're tired and you just don't feel like talking about it. But then that little miscommunication or that little frustration that you are feeling inside, it's like a snowball that if you are not solving that, it's become like a big snowball that then later it's very hard to gap. So I think this is one of our advantages, being able all the time to speak about things, and even when there are little things that is not working for us, we are all the time communicating about that. And the other mantra was around things that are beyond words. There are things that the other doesn't need to say all the time. You can just, by putting the focus on the other person and see if he's in a good place or not, and all the time giving that support that is beyond the words. This is the complementary mantra to our building support
I
system.
think many meetings we have at work, I'm like, okay. And Michal, she stopped and says, no, wait. Meravi, what doesn't make sense to you? And I went, no, it's fine. No, what doesn't make sense to you?
Being able to really read each other.
Yeah, and not give, she doesn't give up to me. Like if she know me so much, and she knows that sometimes I'm like want to smooth things.
Yes, she's much more the smoother. She's the smoother. I will stop and I will not let her to jump above things. So
I think that the fact that we have this, and sometimes I've been asked, like, what are you fighting about? And I think fighting in the traditional sense of it, we don't do it. We do not yell on each other. We
are fighting all the time.
Yes. We do not lose control. But there's all the time this conflict, but a healthy conflict.
So how do you resolve conflict when you really come to a head on something?
Many times I think we just say, okay, let's go out. And then we do like just a walk around the block. And I think we really try to understand what the other person say. And then the fact that we are so much sure that we have the same goal, we want Lumen. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of communication and find the best way to get into there. And sometimes we don't have all the answers, and then we say, okay, let's take it outside. Let's test something, for example, and get like maybe more confidence to understand, okay, what is the best directions for us to move forward.
And is there someone who can go, and if you're tied and you're at an impasse, who settles that? Is it your CEO?
Mommy?
Mommy? No, mother.
Mommy, Michal. Usually it's around, it's not about the tactic. It's about we are getting into dead end when we are not able to understand how each other of us is feeling about the specific things.
So is it more about the communication than
about the emotion aspect of that? Because as Merav said, we both have exactly the same goal. We want, and we are egoless. So it's like, we know that we want just best for Lumen, we want best for each other. So when things are not, go smoothly, it's mainly around not properly understand the point of view of each other. And then our mother, she's the person that we go to.
Maybe try to think what exactly she thinks. This is, why do you think she feel like that? Why do you think she responds like that?
I don't know, Mommy. I don't know.
I think she provide us this all the time, the support system, endless support system. And I think that the fact, I was thinking about it yesterday, this partnership, it's like there's no question about this partnership. So there's never this fear that she will leave.
Or that she will leave. She will not leave. And I will not leave.
And then it enables such a comfortable place to speak, to argue, to fight, but with a lot of trust. And we were raised that this is the most important thing. And this is, I think, how we raise our kids. First of all, this is between you. You are to each other. Friends might come, might go. Things can come, go. But eventually, the core family, this is something that you should really, really embrace. And I think this is also something that we are bringing into our leadership.
Psychological safety?
Yes, and the fact that, I mean, leadership for me, it's not about leading or following. It's about creating a team, a unity around a vision that is breathing and involving and is adjusting based on the contribution of everyone in the team to that vision. So it's like, it's really about do things together. So
more communal approach to
leadership.
I think it's interesting seeing how your careers have been shaped by being an athlete, but you also, I think, have been shaped by your path. And you both started off wanting to be doctors. You didn't get into medical school, so you decided instead to pursue a career in medical science and research. Do you think that experience of a setback impacted your journey or your grit?
I think that, I mean, today our role at Lumen is like we are still doing research. And if you look on our PhD, so Merav PhD, both of us focus on cardiology, right? But we are very different. It's like yin and yang. So our difference,
like this description about yin and yang.
It's like the difference between us is what makes the whole picture whole. So Merav focused on the molecular mechanism behind irregular heart rhythm. And I focused more on the clinical aspect of irregular heart rhythm and developed a new kind of pacemaker. And this is exactly what we also do in Lumen today. So Merav, she's leading the research and I'm leading the product, but it's like it's a yin and yang. I mean, the product rely on the research. Is how we translate the research into an experience that people will love and will happily do on a daily basis. So I think it's like we are doing the same, just in a different context, but it's the same.
And that experience of not becoming doctors ended up being a big gift. But did you ever have a moment when you didn't get into medical school of thinking, maybe I don't want to do this, I want to do something else entirely? Or were you determined to stay on that path?
No, we tried a lot. We didn't give up easily. And again, my mom, Mommy, you should be here. On a certain, I think, point, she recommended, okay, why do you just start something? Don't be stuck. Again, at that time, I think I felt like I'm giving up, but just said, no, just start and do something. She wanted, I think, to open our eyes to different things also that we might also will be passionate about and not do it, all the time, look only on one thing. And she was right, because we completely fell in love with research. Eventually, by the way, we did accepted to med school, but then we said like, nah, no, too late, too little, too late.
So turning medical grade devices into a consumer-friendly product, bringing down the price, making it accessible is a notoriously difficult thing. What was the biggest challenge, or what is the biggest challenge you face?
Wow, there was many. I mean, at the beginning, it was about getting credibility. First of all, to how take 45 minutes of measurement and made it accessible with a single breath. This was the first milestone. And then it was about develop a sensor, because the method to measure metabolism is completely different. So the sensor, the requirement of the sensor should be also completely different. So we would needed to develop a new sensor, because the off-the-shelf sensor was not suitable for the way we wanted the device will work. So then it was 3 years of develop the sensor. And then after that the next milestone was a validation study. I mean, showing that our method is good enough, and today even we see it's better than the gold standard, the ones that is used in hospitals and clinics. And then it was the milestone of creating a product from it, something that, okay, so how you take that metric and made from it something that people would like to use. So this is the next milestone. So we have many milestones, and Lumen is like founded almost 10 years ago.
I think overall, at least from my perspective, the brand of Lumen, this is something that's crucial for both of us, because in a world of, weight loss or metabolic health, there's a lot of gadgets, and it was very, very crucial for us to have a very credible brand of what that we do, because we could have taken a lot of shortcuts during the way, because eventually you can create something that people will love and will follow. But we wanted the how to do
Backed by science.
Backed by science, and it's to be part of our passion. And the how is credible, and the how is based on science, and the how you have to breathe like this or do like this. And I think that today I remember that I used to talk with your partner, and he's like, okay, you're more exciting to talk with a researcher than with a funded some like VC. And I'm like, yeah, a researcher. This researcher already like is used Lumen in his research, and the fact that today I think Lumen has like more than dozens research collaborations all over the world with leading institutes that use Lumen instead of metabolic cart, the traditional tool. It makes me, I'm really, really proud of it. Of course, I'm also proud with other stuff.
Lumen has 3 channels, so the B2C, a B2B, and for researchers. So for us, it was important to bring researcher a tool that will make their research much more easy to run. And by that, we allowed them to study better metabolism, so the world will better understand metabolism. It's like a win-win for everyone.
So you have a very strong mission. Really, I feel it.
And how do you think artificial intelligence is going to transform products like yours and precision health in general?
It's a good question. So, even now we have a new feature that is based on an eye. So it's Lumen eventually is giving you daily recommendation. For example, how much you should eat today, carbs, protein, and fat. But people don't know how to apply it and to execute that recommendation. So we tried in the past to give different kind, for example, of meal suggestion. But then you're entered into a challenge where I don't eat like that. Okay, I ate like that yesterday, but today my preference is completely different. So by using, for example, with AI, so taking the user preference and build a meal plan that is suitable for his preference, this is something that we can very easily achieve without putting a lot of effort now on creating a pool of, millions of different meals that every users will find it perfect for him. So the fact that it's enabled us to personalize the recommendation and to help users to execute the recommendation, for us, this is like the first step that AI is helping us.
Shifting a little bit into the sort of personal leadership, Merav, you've talked about the importance of balancing your role as a mother with your role running the company. How do you think, not just about balancing that for yourself, but also making sure your employees have balance too?
Actually, I think it's a great point. I keep saying that I think that if Lumen was not like my company, I would never survive. I keep saying it to me. Really, it's difficult because, today I think it's more like spoken, the fact that you're a mom and you have obligation. But I think one of the first things Michal and I talked about, it was years ago, please do not do like important meetings that have a lot of members after a certain hour, because we have to go to the kids. And so I think that the fact that we are a mom also enable
other women in the company, and we have more than 50% of Lumen employees are women, and the leadership have more percent of women than men, and we are super, super proud of it. And it provides, I think, safe place to other employee was mom to say, okay, but I have to go to the kids now. Okay, they will do the job later. But I think today more than ever, the fact that you're able to do both makes eventually a better employee.
Do you agree? Have you felt the same thing?
Yes, totally. I think Lumen is it's a long journey. So you don't want the same as in the Ironman, you don't want to burn yourself at the beginning. And having time with your family, it's something that fills you. It's something that when you are coming back to work, you're much more energetic and you can sometimes see things different because you gave yourself a break. So that balance, even not for mothers, for everyone, that balance, it's super important, especially for startups that are for the long run.
Mm-hmm. And just to wrap up with some advice, Michal, I'll ask you this question. What's the best advice you've ever got?
Wow.
I'm curious.
Sometimes when you're stuck with, you don't know what decision to make, it means that there is not enough data. So it's more important to just take a decision and to adjust it later and not sit and reanalyze and spend time on understanding what is the best decisions, because maybe at that point there is no best decision. You just need to take a decision. So I think this is something that I learned.
That's a great one. And then Merav, is there something you know now that you wish you had known earlier in your career?
Yes.
So when you were starting off?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
what? Yes. I used to take things very difficult.
And today I learned perspective, proportions. And I think being motherhood helped me also to be more, to take things in more in proportion. I keep saying my kids, I'm like a mom 13 years, and every day I go into the room, I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky. Thank you for that. And it also helps me, and then you understand that there's the really, really important stuff. Wake up in the morning, take a deep breath in, you're healthy, you're alive, you have your family, and then everything is also in, when things getting tougher or you have like a bad day, take it in proportion. Okay, you can fix it. I think this is a mess. I would take things more easily when I was younger.
Well, keeping things in perspective is so important and a perfect note to end on. Merav and Michal, thank you both so much for being here with me.
Thank you.